the biting, relentless wind of the Siberian wilderness, the coldest inhabited place on Earth, tears across the barren, snow-dusted plateau, kicking up clouds of stinging ice that obscure the horizon. This is a domain of pure, uncompromising survival. And here, a lone figure, the old Siberian woman, consistent in her traditional brown, patterned coat and thick braids, is fleeing for her life. The snow crunches frantically beneath her feet as she runs across the exposed, frozen tundra, her breath escaping in white, frantic puffs. Behind her, a pack of large, gray wolves, massive and driven by hunger, crest the ridge in pursuit. The howling wind carries their guttural snarls, a sound that is both a death sentence and an urgent alarm. The wolves, dark shapes against the pale blue-gray landscape, gain ground quickly, fueled by the desperation of the deep winter. Just when it seems impossible for the lone woman to escape the overwhelming speed of the predators, a slight, almost invisible depression in the snow appears. Without hesitation, the old Siberian woman throws herself towards the ground, locating a cleverly concealed wooden trapdoor half buried in the drifts. She scrambles down the hidden ladder into a narrow, dark opening just as the first massive wolf leaps over the edge of the ridge, its snapping jaws missing her by mere inches. Safe, momentarily, in the darkness, she pulls the heavy wooden cover shut against the frantic howls and scrabbling claws of the frustrated pack above, disappearing into the earth and leaving the wolves to their cold fury. The scene shifts inside the subterranean shelter, a stark contrast of blinding cold above. It is a primitive but functional semi-dugout, deep enough to harness the Earth's insulating properties against the extreme temperatures. Snow dust falls through the gaps in the ceiling logs, catching the dim glow of a small fire pit at the center of the earthen floor. This bunker is the old Siberian woman's secret, a testament to her preparedness and resilience, hidden from every map and most crucially, from the hungry eyes of the wild. Having escaped the immediate threat, the practicalities of survival reassert themselves. The biggest challenge remains water. She resurfaces from her shelter, pulling the wooden hatch open and stepping into the frozen wasteland once more, the sun shining brightly now but offering no warmth. Looking out at the vast, desolate white plain, she spots faint wolf tracks circling the shelter before disappearing back towards a tree line, a silent warning of the pack's lingering presence. A psychological loop that keeps her constantly on edge, knowing they haven't truly left. With the immediate danger temporarily past, she takes a metal bucket and begins the arduous task of collecting snow, pressing it down to maximize her yield. The collected snow, which she must melt for drinking and cooking, is hauled back down into the shelter on her wooden ladder. Once inside,
a steady
the
hand
rough,
is crucial
earthy
for
walls
survival.
surround her, offering protection. She starts the delicate process of melting the snow over the primitive stone fireplace, patiently tending the flames and adding tiny pieces of wood, carefully managing her limited resources. This shelter isn't luxury. It's a tool, a necessary part of her daily, grinding work. The bunker is simple but organized for long-term survival. Tools like axes, knives, and shovels hang neatly on the wood supports. The old Siberian woman tends a fire, adding small bundles of kindling, carefully managing the smoke which escapes through a small hole in the ceiling, the very opening that brings down a fine dust of snow. She melts a large quantity of snow in a heavy iron pot and then begins to prepare a meal, chopping up pieces of dried meat and tossing them into the simmering water. The rich, savory aroma of the stew fills the underground space, a powerful scent of life and nourishment in the face of death. Every item here has a purpose, from the thick fur hides that serve as a bed to the small leather pouches she meticulously repairs by the firelight, sewing with strong sinew and thread. She works with the slow, deliberate efficiency of someone who understands that any mistake, any haste, could cost her everything. The fire, her most loyal companion, radiates warmth, its dancing light casting deep shadows on the mud walls and highlighting the intricate patterns on her traditional clothing. The old Siberian woman takes a moment to rest by the fire, her body heavy with fatigue, but her mind sharp. She looks up at the small opening in the roof, now covered by a thin layer of ice, listening intently to the wind, always listening for the slightest scratch or sound that would signal the return of pack. She has faced this relentless cold and these relentless predators many times before, each encounter hardening her spirit further. She is not just surviving, she is persevering. Her hands, thick and callous from decades of labor in this brutal climate, rub their grease into her gloves to maintain their waterproof quality. The day's events, The sprint across the ice and descent into the hidden bunker was simply another chapter in her lifelong saga of survival in the taiga. She lies down on her fur bed, knife by her side, letting the heat of the fire lull her to sleep. The last image is the smoke rising above the snow, the only visible sign that beneath the crushing cold, life, defiant and warm, continues. This story is a testament to human resilience and the sheer power of preparation. If you were inspired by the old Siberian woman's ingenuity and survival skills in the face of the Siberian wolf pack, like this video and subscribe to our channel for more stories of ultimate survival against the odds. Leave a comment below sharing what crucial item you would bring into the secret shelter to ensure your long-term survival in the coldest place on Earth. Finally, exhausted and secure, she prepares for true rest. She lies down on her fur bed, knife by her side, letting the heat of the fire lull her to sleep. The last image is the smoke rising above the snow, the only visible sign that beneath the crushing cold, life, defiant and warm, continues. This story is a testament to human resilience and the sheer power of preparation. If you were inspired by the old Siberian woman's ingenuity and survival skills in the face of the Siberian wolf pack, like this video and subscribe to our channel for more stories of ultimate survival against the odds. Leave a comment below sharing what crucial item you would bring into the secret shelter to ensure your long-term survival in the coldest place on Earth.
A false alarm.